everyone. It's already getting hot in here on a new Collider Movie Talk. On today's show, is Tom Brady still the best of all time? What is the future of Nick Foles? And what happened to Malcolm Butler last night? We will answer none of those questions, but a whole lot of trailers dropped during the Super Bowl, so we're going to get into all of that stuff, as well as the brand new solo teaser that dropped this morning on Good Morning America. Joining me today in a very appropriate green shirt is the one, the only Kristian Harloff.
I'm drinking coffee, not Kool-Aid.
Are you not drinking Kool-Aid of the Eagles or the NFC East? Was that shirt done on purpose to celebrate the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, not really. I don't. It was last night. My mother-in-law, which team are you rooting for? I said, I don't care. I hope they both lose. but I'm happier the fact that the Eagles won because it's always nice to see the Patriots lose, and it's the first win for Philadelphia in football. So congratulations to Philly.
And our NFC East, the first division in football history to have all four teams have a Super Bowl win. Perri Nemiroff is also here. How are you?
I'm good. I think this is going to be a great episode of Movie Talk, but I might just be convincing myself for that. I don't know.
Drink that Kool-Aid. Drink that Kool-Aid. Drink it up.
Jon Schnepp, I see that Super Bowl advertising worked on you because your breakfast today was 3 bags of Doritos.
Yes, it was, and this Kool-Aid I'm about to be drinking. But you know what? I'm really glad that the Eagles won. They are one of my favorite bands of all time. Hotel California, what's up? Drinking that Kool-Aid, son.
Yeah, Joe Walsh had one hell of a game. Congratulations to all of our fans who are big Philly fans. It was a hell of a Super Bowl. Great game played by both teams, and it just came down to which quarterback was better at catching the football. We are going to kick off today with the solo trailer that aired this morning. The full teaser, about 1 minute 44 seconds, if memory serves. This is the first official trailer that we got for Solo, a Star Wars story. The much maligned production now seems to be on track for its May 25th 2018 release date. Kristian Harloff, after seeing Alden Ehrenreich, Donald Glover, Chewbacca and company in this trailer that dropped this morning, are we okay to get excited about Solo, or are you still a little apprehensive?
I'm apprehensive. I don't think it. I think that it's very easy to everything that's happened so far with this movie. It's like it's Ron Howard, so you knew that the trailer was going to be good. The one thing that you wanted it to be answered was, what was it? Is it this comedy? Is it taking itself serious? The good news is for Star Wars fans, it seems to be taking itself serious. It seems like we're getting back into that full-on Star Wars adventure that we wanted to have, and that's kind of a given, I thought, with Ron Howard coming aboard, because you knew that he had to replace all those things. So the good news there is, okay, it looks like the movie you think that Ron Howard could do. It's not bad news, but we don't have any answers yet with Ehrenreich. We don't know. I mean, he said a couple lines. It looks cool. It's going to be a different Han Solo. The unfair thing to do in general, but it's going to happen, is to say, that's not Harrison Ford. It's unfair to do. I mean, you can't do it. And it's like even some people are saying, oh, wait a minute, it sounds just like him. Or some people are saying, oh, wait a minute, I think that looked like him. It's like, you got to get rid of that altogether. And I don't have enough to work with yet in these short trailers of what he's going to be like as Han Solo. I'm not totally on board because of 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm just not.
So do you judge people who are, I mean, I'm really excited after seeing the trailer, and I'll tell you why. It's because Alden Ehrenreich is not doing a Han Solo impression to me. What this movie looked like to me was a space pirate version of Indiana Jones, with a little scene where he cocks his pistol belt and he's on the beach. It's like, that felt like Indiana Jones to me. So if he's doing that kind of character, that's what I want this whole movie to be. I want it to feel like a swashbuckling adventure in outer space.
I like the fact that the story itself, I mean, the first little teaser right away was pulled from Legends. The fact that he's going to be the Imperial, the fact that's probably how he meets Chewie. I love that they pulled all that stuff, and that's the stuff that from what we heard from Kasdan's script, that people were saying this was one of the best scripts even before they started shooting that in Star Wars. That was never a concern for me. This is one of those things where 4 months out, or whatever it is, 3.5 months out, it's going to be judged on the movie. That's really what all it's going to be now, is that whether or not you buy him for a full movie as Han Solo. Is this the Han Solo? Are there enough differences? I don't need him to sound, and I don't need him to look like Han Solo. I just want it to feel like Han Solo. It did briefly, but I'm not enough for me to go, oh, yep, I'm on board now. All those problems that we had and all those concerns, they're out the window because Ron Howard put together a good trailer.
So, Perri, if excitement for this movie is the Millennium Falcon, it seems like Kristian is still on the ramp a little bit. Are you fully in the cockpit on this movie?
I'm in. They sold me with this, and I full well agree that you can't see a trailer for a movie and say to yourself, oh my God, this movie's going to be awesome. It's going to be everything I hope for. But there is most certainly no harm in seeing a trailer, having it pique your interest and be what you wanted and get excited for it or more excited for it. Because last week when these two videos didn't exist, I think I was probably more concerned than anybody and more down about this movie. But when these two pieces came out, starting with the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl one is kind of exactly what I wanted, because it reminded me a lot of that first Force Awakens one too, where I had a very select amount of images to really think about and really look at and really appreciate. And looking at all of this stuff is incredible because Bradford Young, that cinematographer, just crushed it. The score is great, and I'm one of the ones who said that about Han Solo at the end of the Super Bowl teaser, where when he's looking down, I got chills because it felt like Harrison Ford. And obviously when he looked up, I know what Alden Ehrenreich looks like very well because I've seen him in a ton of movies, and I saw who he was, and I obviously know he's not Harrison Ford, but that is kind of the feeling that I wanted from, at the very least, a first teaser, is that feeling that he can bridge the gap between Harrison Ford and what he's doing here. And basically, at this point, what I can say is I'm satisfied with what I've seen thus far, and it's making me look forward to the release of the movie more than I was before.
Jon Schnepp, or do you agree with Perri? Did this pique your interest in the same way? Are you now excited for the Solo movie?
I'm very excited for the Solo movie. I remember we were talking about it last week, and we argued a little bit because I was like, I have zero problem with them dropping a trailer like a week before the movie, because that's not going to affect my interest or excitement level for this film. And you're right, to a certain degree, I got to see what I kind of expected to see, but also I saw more than I expected to see. I'm really kind of more excited about seeing Solo now than I was before. And I'll say, I could call this Kirk a Star Trek story. You know what I mean? It feels like they're borrowing elements of that action young Kirk before he became the captain. You could say the Kessel Run is the Kobayashi Maru. You can get into a lot of different comparisons, but I think that's great. And I'm really glad they're pulling from the expanded universe, because that is some of the greatest. Some of the greatest Star
Wars.
Wars.
You see the shot of the dice too?
Yeah, that's some of the greatest Star Wars stories. I like that they're pulling, like, I think that's an HK series droid, so it's instantly the girl who's with him is going to probably be an evil Imperial. I don't know, I'm just drawing comparisons, but like, I think, look, if you're going to say Alden Reich, Harrison Ford, you could say Brandon Routh, Superman, Christopher Reeves. So look, I mean, the Superman Returns movie, just because you had a guy who could kind of emulate Christopher Reeve didn't make that movie good. I thought he did a good job as Superman. The movie itself wasn't good. I feel this film, just from the little pieces that we've seen, is a great setup. It's going to be an action adventure, like you said, a swashbuckling film where you're going to all these different planets. The same kind of setup that whenever I see a Star Wars movie, I expect to at least to go to four planets at bare minimum.
Here's the problem that we have, though, today, I think, in general, especially coming off Last Jedi, is that we know that Lucasfilm and Disney can cut great trailers.
Right.
We're convinced, and Perri and I were talking about afterwards, the point of marketing is to get you excited about the movie. Now, do you want to see the movie? Of course I want to see the film. Of course I want to see this movie. I just don't. There are a couple people, and I'm not saying you guys are saying this, but right away it comes out like, oh, I'm convinced now this is going to be great. I think convinced now I really want to see it is a fair point of view, because now instead of going, oh my God, that looks terrible, what's happening? I mean, the Phantom Menace had an amazing trailer.
Right.
You're going to get amazing trailers no matter what. And I'm not saying this is going to be Phantom Menace. I think it's got elements to be great. I like the tone. I like everything else. I just am very cautious nowadays to say, just because of a trailer, oh wait, I was wrong. This is going to be fantastic. I can't wait. I need to see it.
Don't you think it's more of a personal opinion as to how you view any marketing material versus this particular one? Because, like, one of the reasons why I love watching Star Wars trailers is because of my experience with the prequels, where I don't know how the movie's going to be. And I don't know if the Solo movie is going to be great. But watching this, just this minute 45, I'm like, yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed my morning more because I saw that. So is there a version of this trailer that could have come out and gotten you to that hype place where you used to be?
No, the answer is probably not no, unless there's only so much they can show dialogue-wise. That's the problem of this movie coming out 3 months. It did its job in regards to showing that it is a capable movie, what they were able to do in this short span, what Ron Howard is as a masterful director in general. It did its job. But for me, I'm just not going to be on board yet saying, "Oh wait, guys, this is going to be fantastic now," because I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, I can't imagine any trailer ever coming out again in Star Wars or anything for that matter. Yeah, but I mean, having said that, like when that Infinity War trailer dropped, when that Black Panther trailer dropped, I was like, that movie's going to be great. Go ahead and give that movie an A+.
I think that right now, Marvel, I mean, granted, it's got a lot more movies in its belt, but it's got a better track record than Star Wars right now overall as far as fandom and critically. Critically, you can look at all 3 of the new Star Wars movies that have come out, and all the critics are pretty much on board. As we saw with Last Jedi, fans are very, very divided. So right now, this is going to be a movie. You can see even some of the comments last night, whether it was, well, it's definitely going to be better than The Last Jedi, or, oh, I don't want to see it, I'm sick of Star Wars. That's where we are right now as a Star Wars fandom. So the difference is with Marvel, when they come out, sure, there are some people that want it to fail and their Facebook accounts making it try to fail. But for the most part, people are really excited about Marvel films, and the fandom is on board. So Star Wars they need to get over a hump, and hopefully this is the movie that does it. I'm just not there to say this is the movie that's going to do it.
I think this is the movie that's going to do it. I think this is the movie that's going to set up all the other Star Wars solo films, Star Wars stories, whatever you want to call them, because this has that kind of feeling where I want to see the Han Solo adventure, the young Han Solo. I didn't know if I wanted to see it, but now that I've seen this trailer, I'm on board. I can't wait to go on this adventure. I don't know what mission that Woody Harrelson or whatever his name, the character name is, that he's going to take him on. I want to see the Kessel Run. I want to go into the Star Wars mythology. And I think if you do it right, then we can see all these other movies. Everybody's always crying about an Obi-Wan film. That's the last one on my list. But if they do Solo right, then I'll probably be a lot more excited to see whatever the hell it's called. Kenobi.
Don't you guys think that this was just like a really bunch of cool Star Wars imagery with a character that we knew? I don't think there was enough in there to know exactly what's going on.
What
with
else
the story.
is it supposed to be, though? It's only a teaser trailer.
Exactly, but that's my point. Is that it's so
Dude,
for us to say that right away it's going to be
Lando. I saw him looking at the Millennium
right,
Falcon.
exactly. They got you on images.
No,
they got you on images.
It's not images. It's stuff that we know about, Kristian. You wouldn't know what a spaceship was if you didn't see the earlier
They got me on the line that Woody
Harrelson
Harrelson says to Han Solo, and
Woody
Woody Harrelson says, I have this mission I want you to go on. And I'm like, oh, there's this young ne'er-do-well who's doing this weird pod racing thing around the city, and now we're going to go on like an Ocean's 11 kind of heist. That's probably my story.
I think that, no, it's not the whole story. I think that's more on what Perry's saying. It's a teaser. We're 3.5 months out.
What does it even matter, though, what specific thing does get you, whether it's that or me just feeling that it was atmosphere and just feeling like I was transported into whatever scenario he was in?
We're beyond atmosphere right now. We're beyond just trying to get atmosphere and nostalgia and everything else. Like, you need more to hook us in at this moment, and you need more to just say, oh, it's Star Wars. There's the Falcon. There's Chewie. There's Han. I'm in. Okay, it's like let's get a trailer.
Some people happy. Yeah. So that might be what you need.
But
that might be what
exactly
needs,
because of that is why I like it. So I mean, look, I know there's going to be a story there, dude. I just like, hey, there's Chewie, there's Millennium Falcon. Yeah. We're probably going to get the Kessel Run, the origin of how Lando and Han did their flip flop. I'm cool with that. I don't want to see that in the trailer. I want to see that when I see.
No, I don't want to see that in the trailer either. But again, with 3 months out, this is a different type of movie to where it's not just, oh well, normally that's just what a teaser does. We're 3 months out. We haven't had a trailer for this movie yet. We had an Ant-Man trailer, right? That comes out in July, and there should have been a longer trailer. Give us that little teaser, a longer trailer, just to let us know what the story is going to be.
I'm just going to respectfully disagree with you. I'm glad that they didn't do a trailer. I hear what you're saying. You wanted a longer kind of tidbit.
Most people don't know about this movie, Schnepp.
I know, but now they do. They saw the Super. How many millions of people saw the Super Bowl and now are online sweating about these?
Plus, in the coming weeks, we will get that full trailer.
We got two.
Then we'll get
a
final trailer. Yeah, it is a very short marketing campaign compared to most other blockbuster films, but they're still going to give us those pieces.
I know. This is
some great Kool-Aid, baby.
But this is my point again. So I'm not telling you guys you need to feel the way I do, but it feels like you're telling me, well, you should be excited about it.
Not
and that's
at all.
the problem we are in fandom right now.
No. I'm not saying you should feel anything. I'm just saying I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. That's why I said I respectfully disagree.
I don't think you need to be excited, but I also think that if folks out there are getting excited based on what they saw in these two pieces, they are entitled to, because that is the point of a marketing campaign, to get you hyped for a movie. And really, would any of us really be here if the excitement leading up to one of our most anticipated releases wasn't about celebrating this feeling?
Look, I just want to be friends with Donald Glover. That's like, if he's out there and you want a friend, like, let's go drive around somewhere. It'd be fun. I do the one thing about the Solo trailer that I watched last night when it came on, I legit, and this is not a complaint about the 30-second spot, I thought it was like a Doritos commercial or something, because it started out with the Empire guy, and it was never the vibe that I've ever heard from an Imperial officer before, and I was so sure it was going to be like Kevin Hart eating a bag of Doritos on the other end of that, and I'm like, oh, that was cute. Where's the real Han Solo trailer? But then, yeah, we got some cool shots, and it's it's cool if you don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. If you are sipping if you are the actual Kool-Aid pitcher, that's fine too. I get excited watching trailers. I'm not saying the movie's going to be great. I don't know if it's going to be great, but I'm excited as of right now because I got to see some pretty cool Star Wars stuff last night and this morning. We're going to move on to the next cool thing that we all saw, and that would be Mission Impossible Fallout had a 30-second spot air during the big game as well. We got to see Tom Cruise in a variety of different action set pieces, performing a lot of his own stunts. Ving Rhames is back, Rebecca Ferguson as well. A lot of great notes just in this 30 seconds. So, Perri Nemiroff, I will kick this one off with you. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid on Mission Impossible Fallout?
I am drinking all the Kool-Aid today. I loved this trailer so much. So the Mission Impossible franchise is just so damn cool because it's one of the few franchises out there that can get better with future installments. I know they've had some in the middle that are better than others, but I loved Rogue Nation, and where it picks up is so smart, and some of the action here is incredible. The first shot that really got me is when Tom Cruise stops the car in front of Rebecca Ferguson on the motorcycle, and she just goes flying.
Right.
You feel that. You feel the momentum just stopping when she hits. And the same thing happened when Tom Cruise was on the motorcycle too. The fist fight in the bathroom with Henry Cavill's character. Everything just looks so right. And seeing Sean Harris back in there again, because I wasn't really sure what they were going to do with this character at the end of Rogue Nation.
Right.
But I'm so glad that not only does it feel like he's back and he's part of maybe at least the inciting incident, it feels like he's going to have some sort of value for the story overall. And I love the fact that he's in there. I mean, the whole team back together, throwing Michelle Monaghan back in the mix. And I love that they just put that one little bit to start to get the wheels turning. How is she coming back? Why is she coming back? Because she needs a purpose to be there besides just getting us excited for Mission Impossible 3. But yeah, this did the trick for me. I can't wait.
Yeah, Schnepp, I mean, I was shocked that they put that scene in there where it looked like the actual footage of when Tom Cruise got injured doing his stunt.
It
When
is.
he's jumping
It
from
is.
one building and it says,
That is
ooh, you
that's
just
the
see
shot.
that crunch. But I think it's actually going to work out for the Ethan Hunt character because he's not superhuman. He does a lot of crazy things and he's hanging on the side of a helicopter and stuff, but he has gotten injured in past movies, so it makes sense that would happen to him here. Mission Impossible Fallout, are you ready for it this summer?
So ready. I'm glad you said that because the Mission Impossible franchise has only gotten better. This is one of those rare series where Ghost Protocol was so incredible, and then Ghost Nation was just like right on the. So I'm like, I can't wait for Fallout. But I heard that not Ralph McQuarrie, sorry, Chris McQuarrie. I was talking about the Star Wars amazing
He
painter,
did
Ralph
concept
McQuarrie.
art.
Concept art, amazing artist. But yeah, Chris McQuarrie came back to write and direct this. It's such a fan. I mean, I would subtitle this Mission Impossible Tom Cruise falling. There's literally like 7 shots of him falling from heights. But yeah, that shot of him jumping, and if you actually freeze frame it, you could see his ankle break. Because that's if you watch the Graham Norton show, he was a guest, and they actually took that shot and zoomed in on it. You watch the foot get all
that's
flippy
when he got
floppy.
hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It literally that's when you watch his ankle break. The guy's a pretty amazing stunt, super bro action like dude, Tom Cruise. I think he's a great actor in movies like this, especially because he shines. He is like an action kind of dude. So when he's in these kind of films with all these other actors, he gets to shine. But I was really happy to see that bathroom fight scene with Henry Cavill. It looks savage. So there's like an visceral action in Mission Impossible that is specifically translated from Brad to McQuarrie, this kind of visceral action that now I'm just expecting every time I see these films. So when I saw this trailer, I can't wait to see this film.
Yeah, Kristian, all the action set pieces, it reminded me like when you go to a Brazilian steakhouse, they just all these different meats coming to your table. Which one of the set pieces appetized you the most?
Well, I wish you wouldn't have brought it that way because I was going to say the bathroom scene. Because that
Have sausage in a bathroom.
That fight with Perry was talking about, it reminded me of Born Identity, how like violent it was, but it got me on board immediately. And I love these movies. The last few have just been so great. Minus the second one, I've loved every single Mission Impossible, and they like you said, they're getting better and better. I drink the Kool-Aid on Cavill's mustache because I understand why they had it. It looks great. It looks like this. It looks very the character alone. I think that I know that originally they wanted to kind of have Jeremy Renner be the guy they passed it off to.
Right.
Maybe they're grooming Henry Cavill. We'll see how he's going to turn out in this movie. I have no idea, but I love seeing the crew together. I'm hyped for it. It's funny because these are the movies that I always forget, very similar to Bourne. I forget what happened in the last movie. I just remember that I liked them, and then I saw Rebecca Ferguson. I said, "Oh yeah, I remember." Right. Oh yeah, Michelle. I remember. Oh, okay.
Evil guy, now he's got a beard. He's like, I'm the bad Spectre.
Right.
Dude,
I had enough good memories of
I'm the
everything
evil
that
Blofeld,
happened, but I had all those good memories that made me say, it looks just like what I liked from before. And excuse me, because I remember 4 being really good because of the Dubai scene.
Yeah.
But 5 I remember being even better because of the entire film.
Yep.
So I hope that they top that in this one. I'm very excited about this movie. I think it's really good.
I'm really not trying to pick a fight with you right now. I'm just curious, though.
Yeah,
So
sure.
let's just go on last night, right? Just the trailers that aired last night. Was it a higher bar that the Solo trailer had to hit for you, that 30 seconds, versus this one? Is it because this one just doesn't have all of the attachment and the sentiment to Star
No,
Wars?
it's yes and no. Like I don't want to rehash everything we just talked about, too. It's that Mission Impossible did its job because of everything that we knew that was coming before is very familiar to the way that was set up from the last movie. Solo is unknown. This movie comes out. Mission Impossible comes out in July.
This is July,
right?
yeah.
July.
Yeah. So it's got an earlier release. It's got more time
and
to
it was
breathe.
it was a longer trailer, and I got more from the trailer. I got more from a movie that's coming out in July than I got from a movie that's had a lot of problems and that's coming out in less than 3 months or whatever it is. So. There was no pressure on Mission Impossible because I was coming out of it going, okay, there's not another movie in the Mission Impossible franchise that had a stronger divide amongst its fans. So yeah, of course Solo had the most pressure, but I just think it was a better trailer.
Because the sidebar drank a little too late after its Super Bowl party last night, it is not here with us today. However, we are going to run through some of the other Super Bowl spots that aired. The first one we want to touch on getting into that point is the Avengers Infinity War that dropped later in the game than some people expected. I was microwaving the second half of my burrito by that point, late in the third quarter, wondering if Tom Brady had one more comeback in him. And then this trailer drops, and all hell broke loose. Jon Schnepp, this thing came on. I don't know if you're at a party. I don't know if you're at your house. I don't know if you're even watching the Super Bowl. Did you enjoy this trailer?
I was not watching the Super Bowl. Surprise! But you know what? About 2 hours later, I was like, "Oh, these trailers are starting to pop up," and that's how I watched them all. It was just online. on our, on our Xbox TV situation. Here's another tasty trailer. Play. So didn't have to watch any of the football stuff. But I'm glad the Super Bowl exists. So what about Avengers: Infinity War? What a cool spot this was. 30 more seconds. 30 more new shots, 30 more scenes of I don't know how they're all going to fit together in this gigantic $700 million superhero epic, but every single shot felt epic to me. Like seeing Spider-Man hanging on the side of some kind of weird disc thing in his regular outfit. It's like, the dude's going to die. But, I don't know if he's going to have some Stark technology that instantly gives him a space suit, because that is that Spider-Man, Iron Man suit or whatever. Yeah, I thought it was great. I liked seeing all the characters. I liked seeing Cap's new shield, the Wakandan shield. I don't know if he's got double shields. Like in the trailer, he's wearing those two kind of super giant, or is a Falcon going to land on one of them? It just seems like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
It'd be
they're
really hard to
giant.
run towards a fight if you have like a 180-pound dude just land on your forearm. But Cap could probably hold it.
Yeah, I think he could hold him. So yeah, I thought it was a fantastic trailer. Didn't give away too much, but then we got to see a few new scenes like Iron Man and Doctor Strange fighting somebody, probably Thanos. Got to see another cool shot of Thanos smirking towards the camera. So yeah, I mean, that movie comes out in May as well. So we're literally 88 days away or 85 days, something like that. So very excited about that.
Yeah, this was a great announcement, 30-second spot for 111 million people watching the game last night. And Perri, Schnepp brings up the great point where this is a movie where, the Mission Impossible thing, the Star Wars thing, Avengers, people have been really on board with the MCU, both critically and the fan reception. So all you really need to do in this 30-second spot is throw as many characters in there. That's what they did. They gave us new shots, but no new story points, which, again, for this particular thing, I didn't need. The one thing that I loved watching was when Doctor Strange was setting up his whirly thing, and then Iron Man just flies through. That was awesome. And I didn't realize, I've seen 2 Guardians movies. I didn't realize how much I gave a crap about that goddamn tree until I saw that look on Groot's face, and I'm like, oh, nothing better happened to that guy.
Yeah, this is just really no other franchise can play this game but Marvel because they earned it. It's the smartest thing that obviously we needed Infinity War to have a presence at Super Bowl. We're talking about one of the big television events of the year. The movie is coming out. It's a big deal for the MCU. Obviously, they had to be there. Smart on Marvel to only spend money for a 30-second spot because all they had to do was put the team together, Super Bowl vibes there, bring the team together, do a little roll call, put that score behind it, and it was going to have the intended effect. They didn't need to do any more. They can then release another trailer further down the line online, and they don't have to pay for it like they would this. So smart. It came at just the right time too. I was watching on the airplane last night, and I was like busy rewatching certain trailers that dropped online, and then I would like perk my head up and look at the TV. And when I saw that come up there, I was so thrilled again. They didn't have to do anything more than they did.
Yeah, Kristian, do you agree with Perri? Is this pretty much the spot that you expected for the Avengers at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they've already dropped the big nugget trailers, and we've got enough of what that story actually is, and we're excited about it. And they also knew with Disney that they were releasing the Solo thing, and they put that up top. This was just at the end. By the way, don't forget about us, because very short, very brief. It did what it needed to do. I didn't leave it saying, "Oh my God, let's talk about that first."
Right.
I'm already psyched for this movie. Anytime the Alan Silvestri score pops in, thank God they brought that back. By the way, because
they're leaning on that heavily,
and they have to. And that was the whole point. I think Kevin Feige went, and I'm glad I forget his name all the time. What's the dude's name that they split from?
Perlmutter.
He was the one that was holding the composers back, and Feige's like, nope, and he's bringing back Silvestri because it's important. John Williams' Superman, like even John Ottman's X-Men theme, like all these themes that these superheroes have had, and you just abandoned it in the Ultron movie, and it's coming back, and I feel sentimental when I hear it every single time, and it makes me realize the Avengers are coming back.
Super vital thing for a Super Bowl spot too, when people might be paying attention to other things, and then all of a sudden you hear that, and your head turns toward the TV.
That's right. We're going to move on to the box office report. It was Super Bowl weekend. It's usually pretty lame duck weekend at the movie theaters, but still number one, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, with $11 million. Just behind it was Maze Runner, The Death Cure at $10 million. Then we had Winchester, the horror movie, with $9.3 million. Is that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
What?
With $7.8 million?
No.
That can't be right. Is that the Greatest Showman? I believe
hell?
the
Man.
Greatest Showman is number 4.
I think Chris
Wow,
Pratt
that
is
Hugh
singing.
Jackman can play a lot of
Nice.
different roles, can he?
He can talk to
And
the
then
animal.
at
what a
number
run.
5 was Hostels with $5.5 million. So, Kristian,
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy
That's
2.
the story. Yeah,
Shocking.
that's the story. Came back. I mean, look, I'm not a
Millions.
big fan of the movie, but the fact that it basically not even out in theaters anymore and racked up $7.8 million, that is a feat. No one will ever do it ever again. And congratulations, Rocket.
I honestly don't think there's a whole lot to talk about with the box office this week. I'm
it's-
impressed that
there
Winchester
is.
did $9 million.
That is
I am
impressive.
too, but I would say Maze Runner. Maze Runner for 2. I mean, it's not a great number, but the fact that it hung in there at number 2, second weekend during Super Bowl weekend, it was destined to take a big drop once Super Bowl weekend came out. You've got to realize that in marketing. They're going to do what they do up top. You take in another $10 million, and then hopefully you make it back in Blu-ray sales and everything else.
I was really hoping that it wouldn't drop more than Scorched Trials, though, and it
Did drop
did,
pretty big. Yeah.
because I think Scorched Trials dropped like 56%. And oh no, Scorched Trials dropped 52. This dropped 56. And if it had dropped 52, there would have been a good shot of it holding
Right.
on to
Well, the
number
problem
1
with
again,
these-
which is all I wanted to see.
Yeah, but the problem with these movies, because I'm with you, I still didn't give it a fresh review on Rotten Tomatoes, but I still thought it was better than it should have been. But the problem with these movies are, there's no word of mouth. There's no new audience coming in afterwards. Everyone who wants to see it sees it that opening weekend.
Right.
There's a little trickle afterwards, and then it's dead because it's not like something like, hey, did you see Jumanji? No, should I? Yeah, absolutely. Jumanji just keeps going because audiences keep going to check out. I heard Jumanji was good. No one's running around saying, oh, you should go check out Maze Runner, The Death Cure.
Right. Did you see Scorchio Trials
Right.
from 4 years ago? I haven't seen any of the movies. So that's why for myself, I was like, I'm sure the Maze Runner is great. I guess I'll wait till all 3 of them are available on some kind of streaming service. But I mean, that to me is like, I'm just not that interested in seeing it. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But the one for me is Hostels. Like, I was really glad to see that hanging in there in the number 5 spot. And I think it's word of mouth. I mean, it got snubbed by the Oscars, but the more people who are going to see it are then telling their friends, my God, there's an incredible Western that's playing right now. What? That's what it feels like to me, because it's an incredible Western playing right now, and you should go see it. So I'm glad that it's sticking around.
Same
$20
thing with
million, yeah.
Greatest Showman too. I mean, a 16% drop at this point in its run.
Right, that's crazy.
Really, really crazy, and super cool for a movie that is a lot of fun and has the power and that charm to have word of mouth and long legs.
Now, in this
Clearly
one,
it does.
do Groot and Rocket, do they perform like a circus song? Because it's about the circus, but there's animals.
You know, I
mean,
could
what
have
is that?
sworn I saw the whole movie, but I think I missed that part.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah,
it was the
it
after
feels-
It does
credits
feel like
scene.
false advertising to put Groot and Rocket on the poster for Greatest Showman
Right.
and not really have have them. Maybe it's a post-credit scene that's why people keep going back because they missed it the first time. Right now, Jumanji, you're right, Colin Prime. It did go down to number 2 last week, then it bounced back to number 1 this week. $855 million worldwide, over 350 domestically. So Jumanji keeps on chugling, as the kids say. We are going to keep on chugling to agree or disagree. This part of the show will have a premise about one of the Super Bowl trailers, and then we'll see what the panel feels about it, and it's going to lead to a fist fight. That was Kristian's head. Jurassic Park has a new movie. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom had its first teaser commercial debut during the Super Bowl. This is paired with its first teaser trailer that was recently released as well. We're going right to the favorite, Perri Nemiroff. You'll love Jurassic Park. You'll love Jurassic World. You got excited about the first trailer. This one, do you agree with me that it felt too cluttered?
Ooh. Oh, no. No, okay, I agree with you. It's a little cluttered, but at least a certain amount of those storylines that they teased worked for me, whereas with the first one, I was just so hyper-focused on that stupid volcano, which they had no reason to bring that back from the book. They didn't set that up in any of the previous films, and the whole volcano plot made it feel like, a big CGI cash grab, a summer blockbuster. This, though, had a couple of interesting little details in it, and I think the thing that piqued my interest the most was the idea of the Indoraptor and the bidding scene where they're clearly auctioning something that has to do with this creepy dinosaur that they just created. There were certain little, dots that I couldn't quite connect, though. I couldn't really figure out what was going on with that little girl and why the raptor was in her bedroom, how that all got there after the volcano stuff. But this definitely worked a lot better for me, but they still have a pretty steep hill to climb to make me believe that this is actually going to bring me closer to the original Jurassic Park than, let's say, Jurassic World did.
Yeah, but I mean, this one felt like, and it was a smart trailer to do because you only have 30 seconds, so let's throw a lot of dinosaurs at the kids and get everybody excited about this movie. But it felt like this story is going to be taking us in 90 different directions, and I'm not sure that any one of them is going to feel all that fulfilling when you have so much to get into. Like, I didn't understand that now we're breeding another new dinosaur, and is that going to be the one that are we selling these to military complexes? Like, what are we doing with that? And then are we still rescuing dinosaurs? Because we had that in the first trailer. We didn't really get that as much in this one. So I'm excited because there's dinosaurs, but that's really the only reason as of right now, Kristian.
I don't agree with you. I'm going to have to say I agree more with Perri on this side. I really disliked that first trailer. Thought it was a mess. It looked like a rehash of everything. We've seen the same thing. Like, they're on the island. They got it off the island. They didn't show any of the domestic stuff. The problem with the domestic stuff is then you say, oh, is this just Jurassic Park 2 or again? But there seems to be a little bit more with it. Like you said, I actually like the idea of them. I thought they were going to start to explore more about the soldiers and using the dinosaurs as weapons. Like, that was something I was hoping they were going to do. They certainly are. I hope they explore it a lot more in this movie. I love that shot of the dinosaurs being kind of carted off the island, and we know that Jeff Goldblum's going to kind of present his case. So I started to piece those things together, what this movie really is going to be. And the thing that I always kind of wanted was essentially Planet of the Apes, to where the dinosaurs are just going to take over the world, and I kind of have a hope and optimism that will happen. I think that's kind of, they're showing a lot of that. Now I thought that the scene with the girl with the dinosaur going over her and stuff was a bit silly.
I thought it was a dream. I thought it was like she was gonna wake up. Like
apparently it wasn't, though,
shot
because
with Chris Pratt, the lighting does say dream sequence, even though I don't think it is.
Oh,
Maybe.
no, I don't think it is by the end of the trailer.
Yeah,
but when I was watching it live, I'm like, is she having
I hope
a
it is,
nightmare?
but what I will say is that Jay Bayona and Riley had tweeted this out last night, and I agree with them. The director had said that there's going to be like horror elements to it, and if you read the first Jurassic Park, it is a horror story. It really is. The book itself, we know what the movie itself turned into be, and it's a great movie, but the book itself had a lot of horror elements, and I think that that's what he's going to be going with. I really like the monster calls. I hope that this movie is his kind of second follow-up to say, this guy, keep your eye on him. But I liked what I saw.
Schnepp, do you agree with Kristian that this movie is going to give us more horror elements than what we got with the first Jurassic World?
It might give you more horror elements if you keep watching this trailer. I thought this trailer was horrible. I mean, I'll just be honest. I felt like Kristian felt about Solo with this movie. I was like, I've had enough of this Jurassic Park. This is like all the movies blended together in a blender. They just hit blend and then they couldn't stop blending it. That's what it felt like. I was watching. How many different versions of Jurassic Park am I watching in the 2 minutes that I watched?
30 seconds. It was, or a minute or however long
Obviously,
it was.
I'm going to go see the film because I love the Jurassic Park series. I love dinosaurs. They've already got my money. I'm
You
just
cross
talking
your
about the-
fingers for it.
Yeah, I want it to be great. I mean, for me, I feel like this is going in a million different directions and not in a good way. I felt like, look, concentrate on creating new dinosaurs, but don't have the volcano scene and don't have it just felt like too many storylines. And I know I'm seeing a 2-hour movie. It doesn't feel like it's going to really successfully broach any of those. And it feels like the Lost World.
Yeah.
I felt like seeing that
Right,
little
the second
girl
one, right.
sleeping. It's like, I feel like there's elements of all the films I've already seen being like rehashed and not redone or rebooted.
So let me ask you a question though with that, because I don't disagree with you at all that a lot of that was mixed kind of like a soup. But what is the difference? And again, I am a Star Wars fan, I promise you. What is the difference between, let's say it does all that stuff that you just said, what's the difference between that and Force Awakens, which you liked?
What I liked about the Force Awakens means Solo.
No, Force Awakens.
Oh, you mean
Force Awakens, the film,
Right.
took a lot of moments from New Hope, Empire, Jedi, mixed them all together and made a movie that I like very much. But it took all those elements from all of it instead
Right.
of just doing, like some people always say, it's just a remake of New Hope. I would argue the fact that it's got a lot of elements of all the movies together, as where this one also seems it has like elements of all the Jurassic.
Well, I mean,
I
it's tough
can't-
to do the
I can't-
movie
right.
versus 30 seconds.
Right, I
But
can't
no.
argue.
That's what I'm saying. What he had said was that what he's worried about is there's going to be a mixture of all these things in the movie. So I said, if that turns out to be the case, what's the
No,
difference?
but all of these films are mixed. Every time you have a sequel, it's a mixture of the previous film. I get that. I
Yeah.
love Force Awakens, and the parts of it that were exactly like rip-offs of the original Star Wars, I liked.
I'd
because
say
it was
homage.
Homages. I mean,
Yeah.
look. I mean, it's like it was a reboot of the original trilogy,
Yeah.
and it worked great.
Yeah.
It brought a new crowd in. Maybe this is what they're doing with this. I mean, like I said, I'm going to withhold my feelings about the film until I see the film. I feel like this trailer, though, for me, having seen the other films and especially having just seen Lost or Jurassic World,
Sure.
which I thought was fun. This just
Minus
feels like
the gymnastics.
yeah. I mean, minus the running in high heels.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, Jurassic World. Sorry.
yeah. So I'm not hating on the trailer. I'm just hating on the concept of the trailer.
Yeah,
feel
look,
like,
I enjoyed the imagery in this from start to finish. I thought it was a really cool shot of the T-Rex with like a hellscape background. But if you're Bryce Dallas Howard or that kid in that situation, she's like, it's not the T-Rex. Like, what do you do? You hear something loud coming towards you. Why are you not hiding already?
Right.
Why are you be like, well, I guess we'll just stand here in the open and then we'll see what kind of,
Figure it
oh
out.
God, it is a T-Rex. Like, if you hear something on the island where there's a lot of dinosaurs, you might want to get behind something big and hide. Just some friendly advice from a guy who's seen a lot of dinosaur movies. Okay, look, I'd love to talk all day about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but Dwayne Johnson is jumping from building to building. We need to talk about it. That's the new Skyscraper teaser, and then the trailer that aired last night after the Super Bowl. The film stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and it is based on an original idea by writer-director Rawson Marshall Thurber from We're the Millers. Dwayne Johnson plays a former FBI hostage rescue team leader who now assesses security for skyscrapers. While assessing the tallest building in the world in China, the building goes up in flames, and he's being framed for the crime. It opens in theaters on July 13th. Perri Nemiroff, do you think that he's going to complete that massive jump that he does at the end of the trailer?
Kind of, because you do see what happens in the end, where he slips and then his leg gets caught in the rope or something. But when I saw the Super Bowl trailer, the first thing that crossed my mind is, wow, this is just more of the same. Do I really need this? I'm probably going to go see it. I'll probably have like a surface level amount of fun with it. But there's really nothing special about this. And having read the plot synopsis, the most interesting thing to me about this is the fact that he is in security with these skyscrapers and buildings, whatnot, and then he gets framed for sabotaging one, and it doesn't really touch on that at all. It's like the Super Bowl one, I think, focused way too much on the family, and I just don't care. I don't care at all. He played that game in San Andreas, and San Andreas was fun enough, but I don't want to see him do it again. Then the full trailer came out, and there was more to the story, and I'm not surprised, but the part that I gravitated towards most was at the very beginning when he's standing in front of that board and he's explaining, and you get that disaster movie feel where it's all building to everything going crazy. And I liked that. I won't say that I think this is going to be one of The Rock's greatest hits or anything too surprising in this, but I was having more fun and I appreciated just like a little more depth with the story element that I wanted in the full trailer.
I'm going to disagree with Perri here. I loved the trailer, the teaser also, because I think that I've been a fan of The Rock for a long time. And when he was announced as the next kind of action star, even going back to Scorpion King, right, where he was going to have a movie career, and everyone's like, well, he can be the next Arnold, and then he got into Disney movies and all this stuff. I was like, where's his Die Hard? Where is that movie? Where is that movie that he's going to do? Where is that type of movie to where he can really break out as an action star? And last night, I hope it's rated R. If it's not rated R, then I'll be a little bit. That might change my opinion on it. But I think that we saw a different element with San Andreas, with the family, because of what he was doing, the type of character he was. So this, even when he's firing down that axe, I'm like, yes, give me that mixture of Die Hard meets the Towering Inferno. Like, that's what I want to see. This could be a really fun action movie. He could be the action star, the like late '80s action star I always wanted him to be.
Yeah.
It needs to be rated R. It needs to be ultra violent. And he needs to beat somebody over the head with his leg at one point too, and then put it back on.
It is not rated as of right now. I mean, you say Die Hard, and the Super Bowl trailer, he's literally tying something around his just like the end of Die
But
Hard.
when he's running down the hall and
Yeah,
he fires
throwing
the
an
thing,
axe.
I mean, it's like I was like, yes. I mean, this is the one. This is the movie I want to see. The closest one he'd got to Walking Tall was not Die Hard, but it was that type of movie, and it was a remake. But I want to see him be The Rock, the way that I hoped he would be as an action star, and I got hope. I have hope.
Okay, you have hope, and hope is a great thing. And I will say this: the people talking about Die Hard, yes, Die Hard was a very hard R, and it earned its R rating. However, there are elements of family. John McClane trying to reconnect with his estranged wife, with his kids. So there is that element in Die Hard. However, I will disagree with you. This movie is going to be rated R. I think The Rock and the way his career
I didn't
is
say
going.
it was.
I know. Well, I disagree that I don't think it's going to be rated R. You don't think it's going to be rated R either?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think. I don't know if you agree with me or just for here. If I think it should be rated R.
No.
I
No,
think it should
mean,
be.
look, this is the way the Rock wants to set up his career. You want an R-rated Rock movie, and go see him in the Fast and Furious. I think it's actually the smart play
that's
for
not
this
rated
movie to be PG-13. The Fast and Furious movie's not R.
I think
I don't
so.
know. Family, boobs. I don't know. What's
Look,
in
you know
this
what?
movie.
PG-13 is R nowadays. I mean, you can get away with so much. I've watched R-rated
new
films
R.
from the 70s. Like, why is this rated R? So it's like, kids, don't worry about it. You're going to see a lot of stuff in PG-13 movies. I'm calling this right here Sky Hard. That's what
Nice.
you should just
You
change
got
the
it.
title. You should
Hashtag
just-
Sky Hard.
Yeah, hashtag Sky Hard, because that's exactly what this film is. And it's, it sold me on it.
Schnepp. We
should've
I
had
was,
that,
I was
yeah.
wondering if you were going to say it, but I was like, I'll take that tasty,
Good.
crunchy
That's good.
thing from you.
That's good.
Die Scraper isn't that bad
Die
either.
Scraper. Well, Sky Hard's way
All right,
better.
you,
Perry.
you
Sorry.
win, but it's not a bad second
Kind of
option.
totally win, but not to brag, but I fully won that.
won. You won.
I didn't even know it was a competition, but you know what? The trailer was fun enough for me to say, yeah, I would like to see a new kind of version of Die Hard. Oh my God, The Rock hopping around on this leg, that adds a little, it gives him a handicap, so to speak, literally, where it's like he can't just be the action dude, but yet he's still the action guy throwing axes. I'm just kind of, I secretly, when he threw the axe, I want him to say kind of some Arnold thing, like, you know what I mean?
He
You know,
might.
I told you not to ask me a question or something, anything. I would take anything if he said anything. So, yeah, Sky Hard, I'm in. I like the trailer.
Ask me no more questions. We have one more trailer for you guys. Before we get to that, I want to remind y'all that later on today, right here on Collider Video, you can check out a new episode of Heroes hosted by the man who coined the phrase Sky Hard, Jon Schnepp himself. What's on tap today?
Well, of course, we're going to talk about Avengers Infinity War. We're going to talk about Black Panther. We're going to talk about a lot of cool, tasty, crazy superhero nuggets.
If you can't get any more Star Wars in your life, or maybe you want some more Star Wars in your life, speaking of The Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson did a Q&A with our own Stephen Frosty Weintraub. That Q&A is now up on Collider.com, so make sure you guys check that out. And Movie Trivia Schmodown fans, the triple threat match aired last Friday between Rachel Cushing, Mike Kalinowski, and JTE. Make sure you guys check that out. That's up right now. What's on tap this week in Schmodown?
Well, tomorrow you got the big #1 contender match for the teams, and you have Top That, Jim Vejvoda and Eric Goldman going up against Top 10, John Roca and Matt Nost. Winner of that plays the Patriots, coming off a loss in the Super Bowl.
I think it's a different.
Different?
It's a
Oh, different. Oh, sorry.
Patriots.
Sorry.
Yeah. The last trailer we're going to get to is a very interesting concept in the world of cinema, something that's never been attempted before. It was a trailer for a movie that debuted the same day the movie did on Netflix. That would be Cloverfield. The Cloverfield Paradox. It was officially released online, and the news as well that it was going to land on Netflix right after the Super Bowl. Sorry, This Is Us fans. Cloverfield time. Previously, it was revealed that Paramount was selling off the project to Netflix after many delays from it hitting theaters. It was previously known as The God Particle. The film is the story of a team of astronauts who make a terrifying discovery that challenges all they know about the fabric of reality as they desperately fight for survival. So this trailer drops on Netflix, and it looks pretty interesting. I decided to watch the movie last night. Jon Schnepp, so did you. Was the trailer an accurate sell for what the movie ended up being?
Well, I think this is two different stories. I'll break it down to the first story and then the second story. The first story was dropping a trailer and releasing the movie that day on a streaming service blew my mind. Like the concept that you can actually do that, and then literally about 8 hours later, I'm actually watching the film was so fantastic that, you know, it blew away date and day release. It's like, it's a brand new thing that I think Netflix just changed the game with yesterday. Say what you will about the Cloverfield Paradox, but you're going to see this again more and more than you've seen it before.
And this isn't some like direct to DVR movie like with Nicolas Cage, and you know, I mean, this is a movie that is a pretty big franchise, or at least a well-known franchise, Cloverfield.
Yeah.
So having a new installment of something like that adds to it.
They could have released this in the theater. They could have done an ad campaign. I mean, literally, this is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 years we're seeing this done with like a Star Wars or a Marvel film where they're like, check out the trailer, it's on tonight, and people just explode. And then you know what? That you got them on lockdown that night, because like literally when that happened, I was like, yeah, when's it going to come out in Netflix in like 3 months? Because they've got Mute and they've got Altered Carbon. They want to relax a little bit with their sci-fi. It's like, no, it's on right now. So to me, that had me as a sci-fi fan super into it. The movie itself, let's talk about that. I thought it was okay. It's like, I didn't hate it. I know a lot of people have been just destroying it. It's like life. It meets an Event Horizon. It's this, it's that. It's like, look, you know, it's a combination of a bunch of different films that you've seen already with that little like Cloverfield kind of Twilight Zone-y, Black Mirror ending. Some of the stuff didn't make sense. But you know what? Overall, I like the story. I like the way that they cut the characters together. I like the main character. I believe her name was Hamilton. I thought the acting was great. Some of the more bizarre scene with the crawling hand didn't make sense, but I was okay with that because I don't need. Sometimes I like hard sci-fi, and then I like science fiction. I don't need science fiction to explain itself and be like, well, how did the hand crawl? Did it have its own brain? It's like, yeah, no, it didn't. And guess what? We're in another dimension. Shut up. You know, I'm okay with like, we just time warped, and you don't have a problem with that. Well, scientifically, it's never been done yet, so I don't want to hear about your weird science theories.
Okay, but this was a weird experiment in and of itself with the way the movie was promoted, Perry. I have a feeling that this movie got sold from Paramount to Netflix rather quickly. And then Netflix gets it up the same day as the Super Bowl, the same day as its trailer airing. My premise is that they knew that this movie might not do that well with critics. This certainly, watching the movie, it's fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it didn't feel like a theatrical release to me anyway. Watching the movie, it felt like something that should belong on Netflix, and I think that this might have been a gimmick to get as many people to watch it the first night as possible because it wasn't going to get great word of mouth. Do you agree with that?
You nailed it. Because I also watched the movie immediately after the Super Bowl, and I mean, isn't that the point? There is no way they could have released this in theaters and it matched Cloverfield, even 10 Cloverfield Lane. This was not making as much money as either of them. It was not going to have as good word of mouth as it would need to actually make some money. And what better way to maximize your spending than to air a trailer during Super Bowl saying that right after this major thing you're watching, you can go watch that. I guarantee you they got more people to watch that movie because they did it this way, and I think that was a brilliant move. As for the movie, it wasn't great, and as a big fan of the interconnectivity that we're getting in the Cloverfield franchise, like I love the idea of it almost feeling like an anthology where they're just slightly connected. I don't think this one really incorporated it as well as 10 Cloverfield Lane, where it felt as natural and plausible. But, you know, when I'm sitting there watching it on my iPad, on my couch, I was entertained enough.
Kristian, do you think that this is just a marketing gimmick? This is just hype?
Well, I don't think it's just that. I think it certainly is that. I think it was smart for them to do that for sure, because I don't think if you put it out in the theater, I agree with both you guys that you're not going to get the same type of response. I do think, here's the funny thing though, I think that they should have went all in with it. Like as you're watching the actual footage, you should be like, big block letters, watch it now, watch it online, because I didn't even know. I was like, I had no idea that it was even online until you guys, not online, but on Netflix, until after you guys told me, because I was just kind of casually watching the game. I was back and forth, and I was watching, oh, the Cloverfield thing, that's cool. And I was like, I wonder when that's coming out. And I said, oh, it's on Netflix, cool. And then I went on and I finished my grilling. But yeah, as far as the movie itself, the hand, I thought it was a thing from the Addams Family prequel. Other than that, I didn't really care as much. I said, okay, cool, I'll watch it eventually. I'll never watch it, but I want to, but I won't.
Kristian's not going to watch the Cloverfield Paradox. Well, we know one person that got very happy about that news. That was Copster. He hates watching trailers. He got to see. He's still very excited. We're not sure if he feels that way about the actual movie, but he's very excited in the background. What a jubilant spirit he is. That is all the time we have for today on Collider Movie Talk. Usually we like taking your live Twitter questions at the end of the show, but we are going to have a whole show later this week dedicated to your live Twitter questions, your Instagram questions, your Facebook questions, and mailbag. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, since we have an extra minute, I will throw it to each one of our panelists to plug something that they're very excited about. Jon Schnepp, where can the kids find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, just at Jon Schnepp. Check out the Schnepp Zone. I can't even speak right now because I'm in Cloverfield land.
Perri Nemiroff.
Twitter and Instagram at P. Nemiroff.
The Grill Master, Kristian Harloff.
Same place.
All right, I am merely Mark Ellis. You guys can find me not at the same place this weekend because I'm on the road in Omaha at the Funny Bone there. I'll be there Friday and Saturday night. You can get tickets at markellislive.com. Early in March, will be the Portland Helium Comedy Club, March 3rd through the 5th. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you all tomorrow for another Collider Movie Talk. Hey everybody, Mark Ellis here. Thanks for watching this episode of Collider Movie Talk. You want to watch more? Then click up here, or you can click right here for more great content from Collider. And if you haven't subscribed to Collider Video, do so right now and share this vid with your friends. Thanks for watching.